You are the creator of your vibration and frequency, which in turn shifts and creates your new reality. You have developed a heart and mind coherency with your unique combination and know how to shift your beliefs, thoughts, and actions to what you want, at the same time not concerning yourself with how it materializes. You know how to create mental images that supports the needs of the critical thinking mind and know how to feel into and imitate that which you wish to experience. You know how to choose your habits, your emotions, and how you respond. This expanded frequency allows you to live, experience, and create a life of satisfaction, abundance, and fulfillment through your unique combination. You actively choose. You are the creator of your frequency, and you have the power within to live a life worth celebrating. Welcome to the second episode of A Creator's Frequency. So before we get into how I really see frequency, there's one thing that you need to know about yourself. It's very valuable, and I realized in the coaching world that there was this assumption that everybody just knew what this was. There was this assumption that you actually knew what you wanted, that you were coming from your purest or your highest lifeline or life track or level of frequency. But what I quickly realized was that me specifically really didn't know what I wanted. I thought I knew what I wanted, but I really didn't know what I wanted. And the more that I started to dig into this, am I really doing what I want, or am I just following somebody else's strategy? Or am I just following somebody else's life track? Or does this just look really good on pen and paper? And yeah, I want to experience that too. So it took me a little bit of time to really fine-tune the things that I was good at, the things that made me feel unique in my own way, the signature that I put out into the world, the frequency that I was emitting. What was it? What was it sending out, and what was being mirrored back to me? And when I really started to tune into this highest life track or this purest form of me, it just really made sense to me to call it a unique combination, because it is unique. It's created from my DNA. It's created from generational programming. It's created from the society that I grew up in, the religious society, the small community that I was raised in, and what I felt was good for me and what I didn't want to do, how I identified with myself. And this is what you really want to know, is how do you identify with yourself? What is your unique signature, and what is your unique combination? Are you living on a life track that is following this higher level of frequency, this higher level of life, where you feel, and I know I say this a lot, but it really is where you feel satisfied with your life. You feel fulfilled. There's a lot of fills and fulls in there, right? Where you feel like, okay, I do have a choice where I want to go. But the problem that I didn't realize was that it wasn't just about believing that I could make this choice for myself. It was creating the habits around the belief. It was creating the thoughts around this new belief. And it was creating the new actions and the new habits around this new belief, which is the level of frequency I wanted to be operating on. But a lot of times what happens is we get in this reality rut, because it's just this groove. It's like riding down a dirt road that's been rained on, and it creates this rut, and your tires automatically just get in the rut. Even though you try to veer to the left or the right to get out of that rut, The reality is the same thing. You've created this rut through your habits, through your thoughts, and that is the frequency that you're on. And within this frequency is your vibration. It is how you're vibrating, how you're thinking, how you're believing. So in order to see how frequency really works in your life, you need to know what is your unique combination. What is your unique signature? Probably not the one that you're operating on now, the one where you want to be. And how is that going to look like for you in your life? So a lot of times we have this intuitive feeling like we know what our higher level is. And then we also have this lower level that keeps pulling us back down to this rut. And we fluctuate in between. We go back and forth and back and forth. And what I saw in my life, I kept getting the same results because of one thing. And that was the belief that I had about myself and my gifts and my talents and my values and my characteristics and my behavior. So I had to change all of that. I had to change all of that. That included autopilot habits, habitual thinking, emotional dependency, and the emotional ruts that just felt comfortable for me. For me, feeling, for whatever reason, I don't know, but feeling defeated was an emotional rut that anytime I felt that, it would just circle into this spiral of feeling defeated and then looking at other people and comparing my results with theirs, what I thought was theirs, because obviously I didn't know. It was just what I saw, on social media, things like that. And really asking myself, what am I sending out? What am I actually sending out? And the only way that I could actually know what I was sending out was what I was getting back. What were my results? What was the reflection in the mirror? And so instead of trying to change the reflection, I had to get back to the inner self-belief. What was my combination? What is my unique combination? And that is something that you need to know. You need to ask yourself this. You need to have this feeling about yourself like, okay, I am capable of doing these things. I am capable of switching this reality to what I want. So I also see frequency and vibration kind of like a radio station. So when you're listening to a radio station, it is a vibration. I mean, the music from that radio station actually vibrates. If you've ever seen any YouTube videos where they have a certain sound that vibrates on this plate and then they put salt or sand on it, it creates a design. That's your combination, is your design, right? And so then if you want to change that design, then you have to change the frequency. You have to change that. And so that would look like, okay, I'm listening to country music. Now I want to listen to some rock or hip hop. I'm going to make my hand go to the radio station dial and actually physically change the radio dial. And then you have that, and then it goes to the radio station that you want, right? That is my mental image of how I see shifting my frequency. So what happens a lot of times is we're not choosing the frequency that we want to be on. We're allowing our emotions to choose the frequency that we're on or that we experience. So for me, I was allowing these lower level emotions to change the channel for me. If I felt like I needed to be motivated or inspired, then I would search out motivational and inspirational things on YouTube, and it was never me leading myself until I found my unique combination and what it was that I wanted to choose. I don't even really listen to the radio anymore, to be honest with you. I listen to what I choose to listen to, which is a lot of times audiobooks, or the things that help me, remind me, help me to create new habits around this new frequency that I want to embody. So you have to ask yourself, are your emotions leading you, or is it the other way around? Are you leading your emotions from your unique combination? When you discover that unique combination, and it's not like you need to, go on some long journey into the wilderness for, 2 weeks or something to find yourself or whatever. It's just simply asking yourself, am I choosing this, or is my old programming and conditioning choosing this? It's just having an awareness of what's been happening. And you can do this in your daily life. You don't have to actually do anything other than just tune into an awareness of just seeing yourself from an observer point, from an awareness point. So the reason why I said you need to get some type of mental picture in your head is because your critical thinking mind thinks that anything that is different is unknown. And when it thinks this, it's going to think that whatever the hell you're doing is scary. And I don't know about you, but I've heard and felt a lot of times that it's scary to go into the unknown. Well, that's because you haven't given your critical thinking mind the prerequisites that it needs, which is a mental imagination or a mental image. So you do that by seeing something that's saying, okay, we're going to switch our frequency. And yeah, it's comfortable right here, right now. But we're going to imagine a different scene and switch it to that. But when you do that, you have these alarm bells that go off, and that's your emotions because you're so used to letting your emotions lead you. So then it's a reminder of this is where we're leading ourselves. The critical thinking mind is going to think what it needs to think, and you're going to give it the new images of where you want to go. It's this mental image that I'm giving you is not going to look the same for you. It isn't. It's just because of the combination that I have, that's how I see it. I see it like a radio station. I see it like the sand on a plate. That is the design, the signature that I was operating from, and now I want to change it to a different design that I want to operate on now. It can be as simple or as complicated as you want to make it. I choose simple. It's taken me a long time to choose simple, but I choose simple. That also brings up a reminder. We've been programmed to think that everything has to be hard. But if you can just give your critical thinking mind the mental images that it needs, then you're going to see that this isn't actually as hard as you thought it was. Now, the other thing that we've been taught is that going from one radio station to the other, going from one reality to the other, shifting from this reality to a parallel universal reality, whatever, it's a straight line, and it's not. The other way I see this is you have variations, you have possibilities, you have literally an unlimited amount of possibilities to go from point A to point B, if you want to call it points, but to go from one reality to another. You have an unlimited potential of variations that can happen for you. And when I say that can happen for you, What I mean is when you take the actions and the thoughts and the belief, and it really should be the other way. When you step into that belief and acknowledge that you have the capability to experience a different reality, then you choose the thoughts, you choose the action, and you chose the frequency. You chose the frequency that you want to get on, that you want to be on. And when you do that, there's an unlimited amount of ways that this can happen. But the critical thinking mind thinks that it's from one point to the next. But when you start to see that there are more ways than you could even imagine, then it loosens the hold of the reality rut that you think that you need to control how you're going to get to that. Because you think that it's going to be the same way that you change a radio station. Well, I know I change a radio station. I just reach my hand up to the dial and turn it to the station. But there are a lot of ways that this could happen. It's just the critical thinking mind sees one. The radio station could completely change on its own, and you didn't even have to do anything. I mean, how many times have we had radio stations project one frequency, so like maybe a talk show, and then it completely changes to a hip hop show? You didn't even do anything. So there's unlimited amounts of possibilities that can happen to you. But the problem is you get stuck in the reality rut that it has to happen one way. So when you tune back into your unique signature, your unique combination, and you're living from your purest frequency, it is going to take a little bit of self-reflection of what that purest frequency looks like. And how is that going to be expressed through you? And do you want to continue getting the same results, or do you want to get a different result? So the question that you need to ask yourself is, have you been created by your programming and conditioning, or have you stepped outside of your comfort zones? Because there's plenty of comfort zones. There's not just one, to see what you're really emitting. What are you really sending out? Or are you all over the place? Up and down, up and down. And your reality is going to show you what you're sending out, because your reality doesn't have an opinion of what you choose either consciously, or you can say subconsciously, or if your programs and conditions are actually choosing it for you. Reality doesn't really care what your choice is. It's just going to send you the reflection of what you're sending out. So what is it that you've been sending out? What has been keeping your attention? And where can you create a new mental picture of where you're actually going to give your critical thinking mind a new direction that you are now leading yourself to your new reality, to this life that you want to materialize? So we've all had these little intuitional insights, right? That is, to me, this is when I am starting to tune into more of my unique combination, more of my unique signature. And I get these little hits and these little insights. And a lot of times, if I don't write them down, they just come and go. But they're little nudges of, hey, this is a possibility. Hey, this is another possibility. Hey, this is another possibility. And when I write them down and I back them up with my unique combination and where I want to lead myself, then I can actively choose what frequency level that is. So the choice literally is yours. You are the creator of your frequency. You are the creator of your vibration. You are the creator of the vibration that you're emitting, the signature that you're emitting right now. So the choice is yours, and you keep choosing it until it materializes.